Quest 6, Legacy of the Orc Warlord. Ulog's foul offspring Grok has sworn revenge on those who killed his father. Although it has taken him several months, he has finally tracked you down, all 4 heroes, and captured you in an ambush. Now you are all held prisoner in his dungeons while he decides when and how you will meet your fate. While the guard sleeps outside your cell, you manage to pick the lock with an old rat bone. You must find your equipment and escape to the stairway. So this venture is a little tricky because the party is basically stuck without their equipment or their armor, weapons, spells, everything. It's all sitting in this chest up here, this weapons rack. So basically they have an attack value of 1 dice and a defense of 2. So I'm going to let them run around just a little bit before they make it up here. I could just have them go up there, but that would kind of be cheating. Now, the other thing I wanted to note was, in the last adventure, the party had saved up 495 gold pieces, and I used that to buy Lead Belly Onion Breath, a new axe, and he was really proud of it, but unfortunately, he doesn't have it in his hands now, since he was captured by Grak. So let's go ahead and start moving these guys out, and I'm just going to move them down here to fight a little bit. Then I might move them over here for this Femir, and I don't know. Let's just, we'll just see if they can go up here then, just to make it interesting. Because I know if I, excuse me, if I roll wrong, this party will get wiped out. So I don't want to do that, but I want to make it, kind of show you what it's like for them to be fighting with one hand tied behind their back, as it were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the dwarf will go 1, 2, 3, 4. So there, he's... Okay, that was the first turn. Now we're going to go down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll just go... And this seems to work a lot better, just having everybody basically moving. They can move 7, except for the dwarf, who can move 5, and then wounded characters can move at 5. That makes the game a lot less tedious. Okay, and we go down here. Oh, I forgot to put my mage here. Oh, well. Okay, he peeks in the door, and he sees an orc, and the orc comes running up. Die, human! The humans have escaped! Oh, that's hard on my throat. So the orc, let me see if there's anything special about him. Nope. He's just sitting in there. So the barbarian gets to fight the orc. Let's pull up our monster card. The battle boards and the monster card are really handy in this. Okay. Orc gets to go first. Attack die of 3. Yeah, there's no initiative system in this, which is kind of interesting. So the party's always at a little bit of a disadvantage for that. Okay, with a attack die of 3, the orc gets 1 skull or 1 attack that gets through, and the barbarian gets to defend at 2, and gets, okay, that saves him, so he doesn't get anything. And the barbarian fights back at 1 and misses. The orc goes again, gets 1 through, and... Okay, that leaves the barbarian 1. Now, they don't have any sort of healing potion or spells, so they couldn't survive too many encounters in this. I think 1 or 2 would be about the max. They would have to find their stuff by that time. Okay, barbarian gets to go... Or 1, sorry. 1, nothing. And then the orc fights back with 2. And... defense, okay. So old B is down 2 more, so 5. Okay, B gets to go nothing. Okay. And then the orc gets to go. B defends, then defends successfully. B gets to go with a 1. Orc gets to go with 2 more. And then B tries to defend. Okay, completely defends. Orc gets to go. And B defends. Yep, okay. B goes. And then the orc goes. And then B goes. And let's see if the orc defends. The orc has a defense of 2. Oh, okay. The orc, that kills the orc. So the orc dies. And they're sitting there. I guess B doesn't have any a chainmail bikini. She's just got a loincloth, so she's looking real good there. Okay, so they go in. The dwarf can still check for traps. They can check for secret doors with the elf. And they do so and find nothing. So there's really nothing in this room. And then they decide to head this way. Let's see here. Actually, let's say they go. And who's got the most? Okay, right now the dwarf has the most. So the dwarf will go in the front. And now I don't know whether the dwarf automatically checks for traps or... I guess the dwarf has to be checking. So we're going to say the dwarf falls into the trap. And a trap does 1 point of damage. And, oh, I forgot to draw a card. For beating that first orc, B gets a wandering monster, which is a femur. Okay, so we got to pull a femur out. There's a femur. I think it's a femur. And we'll just say the femur pops in here. We'll just bring it here. So kind of after the fact, that's okay. So the femur attacks. So the femur is now against the elf. And the femur has a attack of 3. Oh no, and the elf has a defense of 2. So the elf takes 2 points. Okay. And we can't attack diagonally because we don't have a staff. So, he'll get up here. He'll move here. And then the elf will try 1 attack. And gets it in on the femur. Now the femur has a defense 3 and defends. Okay. Now the femur will go and attack die of 3. So that's 2 against the elf, which is let's see, what's the elf have? The elf has an attack of a defense of 2 and defends. Okay. Elf attacks, nothing. Femur attacks, 2. Elf defends for 1. So the elf takes a point. Okay. And I'm just to give him a break, I'm going to say that the dwarf crawls up and the dwarf gets to attack. Misses. Elf attacks, hits. Femur tries to defend. And defends. Okay, femur is going to go against the dwarf. Well, let's let the femur go against the elf, okay? Femur has against the elf 2 hits. Elf defends and gets 1, so the elf takes another hit. Okay. And I think the elf is going to spend their time getting out of that. B will get in there. The dwarf is in there. The dwarf attacks. Misses. B attacks. Misses. Femur attacks B. Hits a 1. Doesn't defend, so... whoops, not spell points. Let's see. So B is at 4. Man, this is going to be tough. Okay. Dwarf attacks and hits. Femur defends and does not defend. So the femur takes a point. Okay. B attacks. Misses. Femur attacks B. B defends. Makes a defense. B attacks. It's a 1. Femur defends. Nothing. Okay. And that kills the femur. Now... we're going to draw a card. Tuck, they find a gem worth 35 gold pieces. Let me write that down. Okay, so they find a little treasure. And he's not going to look for... I guess he can look for treasure, and hopefully there's not going to be a wandering monster. Nothing. Okay, good. Nothing is about the best thing that was in the bottom of that thing. So he pops up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will just conga line out of there. Okay. We go the next room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think the nice thing is I can kind of cheat at this. Like I said, if you were to have another Femir, like if these guys were to wander down here and run into this Femir, I think the party would be pretty much be done, but they're not. Okay. We get up here, and the dwarf decides to peek in the room, and sees a goblin. Goblin comes running. Die! 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 Okay, so the dwarf goes. Dwarf has... I mean, even a goblin's going to be nasty at this with this sort of system. Let's see. Dwarf has 1. Misses. Goblin has 2. Goblin hits the dwarf, and the dwarf defends at 2 and defends. This could go a long time. Okay, Goblin, dwarf goes and hits. Goblin has a defense of 1, does not make it, and that would be the end of the goblin. Dwarf's gonna go marching in the room and take a look around, and it's, oh boy, we found our equipment! So now everybody is equipped, and the first thing we want to do is look at how everybody is doing as far as wounds are concerned. So let's just go through here. Dwarf has 6, so that's, let's see, I think that's for him. Dwarf is at 7. Okay, so we're okay there. B the Barbarian has 4, so B could probably use a little more. The Elf definitely needs more, and our Intrepid Wizard has 4, and I think, they start with 4? I gotta double check. Yeah, okay. So we need to cast a healing spell on the Elf and the Barbarian. Let's go to our player inventory. And the wizard, let's see, Water of Healing does 4 body points. So we can just cast 4 on each of those. Discard and discard. And our elf has 6. And our barbarian has 8. Let me double check and see we didn't go over. Barbarian can go up to 8, yeah, and the elf can go up to 6. So yeah, we're good. Okay, they definitely feel revitalized by that. Marching order, well, who's going to take the slack? I guess we'll do the standard. We'll do the B the barbarian first. We'll do the elf, or the wizard, and then our elf, and then our dwarf. Okay, where are we going to go? Let's roll now. And we'll say odd goes north, even goes south. So even it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all wounded, so I guess 5 is what we're going to go at. Okay, there's our first round. Now we've found nothing down here, and the dwarf can say this is just a dead end, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Second turn goes here. Third turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then the fourth turn, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 for the door, and south will be 5, 6. So 6 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they get right here. He comes marching up, and there's a femur waiting for him. A femur? Femur. I don't know how you say it. Is it like a femur, like your bone in your leg, or is it a femur? If you have any clue, let me know down below. Okay, so we're back into a fight with a femur. Femur. Femur gets to go first with 3 attack die. And, oh gosh, they got 3 on B. And she is able to defend with 4. So she defends 1, so she takes 2 hits. 6, okay. And then she gets to go, and she has 3 dice. She gets 2 hits. The femur can defend at 3. Does not, so that gets rid of the femur. And we draw a card. A potion of healing. Okay, that's nice to have. I forgot about my potions. I got to remember those. Okay. Now, let's see. Which way are we going to go? We can go this way or this way. We will go, let's see, let's say odd for this and even for this, and they won't see this trap. Okay, even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to say odd this way, even this way. There's a boot. Oh, look at that. There's a little boot there. Okay. Odd this way, even this way. So we roll and we get odd. Okay. 1, 2, and immediately falls into a trap. Taking another point of damage. It's okay. We get to see if there's anything in the bottom of the trap. What was in there? Hazard. Okay. I don't know. So we're going to say the trap does 2 damage. I think that's how we'll handle a hazard in a trap. Otherwise, we'd have a pit trap and a pit trap. I guess you could have 2 pits. That would be interesting. Like, everybody has 2 pits. Okay. We'll just make it so that... honestly, so many times in these games, you just have to make up rules as you go along. I don't see any way otherwise. Okay, so like this one, how does B climb up, go through the door, and go in? So we're just going to burst in and hope for the best. And because I think we need a place to stand, everybody else is going to have to try to jump that. So B is in there and going to drink a potion. Now, potions don't cost anything. And let me see. Look back over my potion list here. I had to write these down. I wish there was a way this Vassal Module will let you put these down. A potion of strength, which adds 2 extra die, or a heroic potion, which lets you do 2 attacks. So I'm going to use my heroic potion, drink it, and make 2 attacks. And I'm going to attack... I'm basically going to attack this orc and this orc. Oh, the orc's going to go first. I forgot about that. Again, there's no initiative system in this that I know of, so orcs have 3 hit die. So first orc gets 2. And B takes 2. Okay, second orc. Oh, B is at 0. Okay, so B's at 0, and I'm going to say she drinks that potion. She has a chance to drink the potion. 5 points. Okay, so that takes her up actually to 5. And then the third orc attacks. This was close. Gosh, 2 and 2. So now B is at wait, what did I roll? Oh, yeah. I got 2. So, okay, so B is now at 5 minus 3 hit points. Okay. And then B goes and makes 2 attacks, and she's gonna attack here for 3 and here for 3. So attacks the first orc at 3, makes 1. Orc defends at 2 and defends. Okay. Second orc, nothing. Okay. So that was basically it. I think B is a goner here. Let's see what we can do. So the first orc goes with 3, gets 2. B defends at 4. Okay, and that's it for B. Is unfortunately no longer with us. I think what we're going to have to do is the elf is going to have to jump across this shelf. They roll 1. If they get a skull, they fall in. She falls in. Nope. Okay. Now we'll see how much damage she can take. 3 with 1, and let's see. The elf defends at 2. She makes it. Okay. Second one attacks. 3 with 1. She defends. Third attack. Oh, 3 and 1. So the elf takes 2 points damage. And we should have just let that room go. Oh, and there's a goblin here. He should be down here. He's just sitting here. Okay. Now our elf can time stop. She's going to do time stop. Cast that first. And so she gets basically 2 different attacks. So she's going to cast Deep Sleep. These guys all count. And we're going to discard that. Let's see, that was her first turn, or her second turn. First she's going to do that, and then she's going to attack them. And they can't defend, so basically she attacks for attack of 2, and that's enough to kill this guy. Okay, and that would be it. So now the 2 can attack. Let's go back to my monster card. The first one gets a point, and she defends. Second one gets a 2 points. Defends for 1, so this puts her at 3. Okay, and then the party gets to go. Now, this guy's going to come over here, and he can do a heal. So we'll do that. First of all, the wizard's going to go with a water of healing, and brings back 4 body points. Okay, and then the let's see who's the orcs have gone. Okay, so then she gets to go. The elf goes. Do I want to cast slow or not? I think I will. Things are pretty desperate. So cast slow on this guy. So he now fights at 1 dice lower. Let's see. Yeah, 1 less combat when attack or defends. Okay. And let's see here. So she can... Oh, she just cast that spell. Okay, so now these guys get to go. The orcs do. And the first orc's going to go, and he uses 2 now. Makes 1. She defends at... the elf defends... What does she defend at? Lulabelle? Lulabelle defends at 2. She's able to defend. Second one attacks at 3 and doesn't do anything. Okay. Now Lulabelle's going to attack this guy. And she does it at an attack of 2. Nothing. And then I think this oregano is going to throw a fireball. Let's see. Player inventory, wizard. Where'd you go? Wizard. Going to cast a ball of flame, and that does 2 body points, and, well, it won't matter to a goblin because it's the goblin. So that's it for the goblin. Okay. Next, these guys, the orcs can go, and so the first orc fights it. Let's see here, monster card. The orcs attack at 2. Gets 2, and Lulabelle spins at 2. So she makes 1, but she takes 1. This puts her at 5. Okay, and the other guy goes at 3. Nothing. Okay. We're going to get a little creative here. So I'm going to say Lulabelle. It doesn't really say whether you can leave a zone of control. So I'm going to say Lulabelle shifts over. And she's going to attack this guy. She throws the dwarf. If we get a 1, the dwarf falls into the pit. No, it was a 1 of a... It was 1 of a dark shield, wasn't it? No, it was... Yeah, we'll call it that. So the dwarf takes 1 point for being in the pit. Okay. And Lulabelle can still fight. Let's see, she's got a battle of 2. The orc defends at 1. So yeah, that'll get rid of this orc. And next round, this orc is angry. He's an angry orc. Fights at 3 with 1, and she does not defend. So that's a changed BP to 4. Gonna say that Oregano tries to jump the gap and does not. So he's down there. He's climbed out. And he's climbed out. So now Oregano's down there. This is crazy. Okay, 4, 3. And our dwarf, he's an angry elf or angry dwarf. He is gonna go with he's finally going to use his axe. This is like breaking in a new axe. So 4 combat die. Finally, he'll be on the same level as the monsters. Okay. So 4 combat die. 2 against an orc. So the orc can defend it too. It won't. Okay, so the orc doesn't make it. And the orc is gone. We roll a draw card. Wandering monster. And that's a Famir. So the Famir just appears here. We'll just put him here. He can't really do anything here. Well, where can we put him? I guess we need to put him somewhere in combat. So he's got to be adjacent to the character that killed the orc. So that's here. Famir gets to go with 3 attack die against the dwarf. 1. The dwarf has a defense of 2 + 1 or 3. Is able to block. Okay, dwarf gets to go with 4. And the Famir defends at 3. So the Famir defends from that one. Okay, and then the Lulabelle goes with 2. And that's 2 hits. The Famir defends at 3. Does not make it. So that's the 2 will kill the Famir. Okay, we roll for... Oh, this was gone. Draw another card and some gold. 15 gold. Discard. I don't think there's anything else in that room. I guess I better check. Yeah, the only thing is this one. So, and we have Grak. We got to remember Grak is specific. And Grak has the Wizard's Cloak. So we got to remember that. That will help our wizard out if we can make it. Okay. So the wizard climbs out. The dwarf has to jump. Lulabelle has to jump. Okay, they make it. Dwarf's going to take the lead now. Peeks in the room and sees goblins and orcs and Grak. And he's like, he also sees the stairway to freedom. So, of course, the goblin will be the... we're going to let the goblins go first. The orcs are just kind of like, go. They're bright enough to use the goblins as cannon fodder. So the first goblin gets to go. And the goblin goes with a attack of 2. We hits 1 and 3 for defense, which we've got that 1. Okay. Now the dwarf can go with 4. Hits for 2 points for a goblin. That automatically will kill the goblin. And that's it for that round. They push the next goblin. Basically, Grak takes his sword and pushes this guy forward and moves up. Okay, so the goblin gets to go again with 2. And what's our orc's name? Or Leadbelly. Leadbelly, I keep forgetting his name. Takes a hit. 4. Because he defended 1, but the other one... Hold on a second. Let me go back here. I'm going to roll that one again because I forget. I've got kind of sidetracked. Okay, so the goblin attacks. Whoops. Go away. Goblin attacks nothing. Okay, that'll be fine. It's still random. Okay, now. Leadbelly goes with his 4 and gets 3. Now that again automatically kills the goblin. And this, should Grak go? Or should one of these guys go? I'm going to say Grak orders him forward. And he goes, and the next orc attacks. 3 die. 1 goes through. Leadbelly he defends with that 1. He got a shield, so he gets a shield defense. And he attacks with 4, which is 3 of these. And an orc has 2 defense die. So an orc with 1 body point, 1 hit will succeed. No matter what I roll, he's gone. Okay, and then this guy goes. And 3, he gets 1 through to the... 1 gets through, and let's see if Leadbelly is able to defend. He is. Okay, Leadbelly goes. Oh, gosh. And Leadbelly just cuts his head goes a-flying. Okay, finally Grak. Grak goes backwards, and the party moves in. I'm going to say Grak moves back to make a... On the stairs, we're going to make this dramatic. And the party moves in to make this dramatic. We want this nice and full of drama. So, let's see. Who goes first? Well, Grak gets to go first. And Grak is a special character. He has a movement of 8. He has an attack of 4, a defense of 4, and a body of 3. So, we got to remember attack and defend are 4 and body of 3. So he attacks with 4, and we'll say he goes after Leadbelly, and so Leadbelly gets 2, and Leadbelly defends for 1. So Leadbelly takes a hit point. Okay, party gets to go. Leadbelly will go first with 4. 2 get through. Grak defends. Does not defend, so Grak takes 2. What's that put Grak at? Grak had 3. Didn't he have 3? He had a body of 3, yeah. Okay, so Grak is down to 1. Okay, then, this is going to be easy here. I'm going to let my wizard with a ball of fire is going to cast that. And that'll inflict 2 body points. And then they roll 2 red dice, and for each 5 or 6, nothing. So that means each of those is effective, and Grak goes down. And Grak is leaving something important behind, and that we're going to go to our let's see, armory. Do we want the armory? No, we want the artifacts. The Wizard Cloak. This magical cloak made of shimmery fabric is covered with mystical runes. It can be only worn by a wizard and gives 1 extra combat die. We will take it. So we will take our inventory for our wizard inventory, and we will add that to it. So they get 1 extra combat die in defense. Okay, so it's actually as armor. Sweet. Okay. And so then they run away, and they're now free. Unfortunately, leaving their friend B Arthur, Bikini, the Iron Pants, left her body to turn to bones in the dungeon. So we're going to have to find a new barbarian, and we'll do that in the next session. Quest 7, The Lost Wizard. The Emperor's personal wizard, Wardaz, has disappeared. The Emperor fears that he has been murdered or has succumbed to the lures of chaos magic. You must find out what happened to Wardaz. You will each be paid 100 gold coins upon returning to the stairway. So between the adventures, the party was able to find a new barbarian. They went to Barbarian Mart and picked up Chuck Norris, the barbarian. And so Chuck will now be with them, and he picks up some of Bee's armor that she had. So he's got the shield and the hat that Bee had. And they didn't have a whole lot of gold left over. I think they have 45 gold pieces left. So they're a little short on gold. They're short on healing potions, too. So hopefully they can find some during this adventure. So let's get started. They're going to look for that pesky wizard and see what happened with him. I think I'll let the dwarf be point man for just a little bit. So we'll move him here to this door, and we'll move our wizard here because he's got that staff, and also he can throw spells. Barbarian will stand back here, and the elf will stand here. So they go to this door and peek through, and 2 skeletons appear and come towards the door, leaving our friend the dwarf to fight them off. So let's pull up our monster card. Now, the dwarf has a defense of 3. No, let's see. Yeah, he has a defense of 3 because he's got his hat. He's got the metal helm. And the skeletons are going to fight with 2 attack die. So you spend most of this game is spent fighting in doorways, I've noticed. Okay, so skeleton goes first and gets that 1 attack. And the dwarf defends and gets 1, so he's okay. Now the dwarf gets to go, and he's got the axe. And the battle axe does 4 combat die. The battle axe is changing up things a little bit for the party. 2 hits. Skeleton defends with a defend of 2 die. Does not get any, so that's the end of that skeleton. We go to the next round, and the skeleton moves into place like they are wont to do. Attacks with 2 against the dwarf, gets 2 hits. Dwarf defends both of those, 2 shields. Dwarf gets to go with 4 hit die, gets 2 hits. Skeleton defends with 2 defense die, makes 1, so it gets a point. And skeletons have a point, a body point, so that's him, he's gone. Dwarf gets to find a treasure. He goes looking down through the bones and stuff and gets a potion of healing. All right. So the dwarf now has a potion of healing, which he needs. I'm going to write that down. Okie doke. We will just discard that. And the dwarf moves in, makes a trap check. Elf moves in, makes a secret door check. And then everybody else moves into the room. And Chuck just kind of looks over and glares at the empty space. Also, there's this thing over here. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like a Starfleet battle console or something. I'm not sure. Okay. We do this. We repeat the same process. Peek through the door. The dwarf peeks through, sees nothing. So he goes down into here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got to figure out, are we going to go this way or are we going to go this way? We'll roll. We'll go 1, 2, 3 this way, 4, 5, 6 this way. It's a 4. door. So we're going to go through that door. Now this time, Peek's in here. Nothing's in here. Move in. Elf will move in. They'll do their thing. And they will move back in and we'll do the same thing again. Okay. Dwarf moves in and sees some skeletons. Skeletons move into place. And we roll for the skeletons first. 2 die. So they get a hit. The dwarf rolls 3 die and gets a defense. Dwarf hits or rolls to hit. Gets 2 hits. Skeleton defends at 2. Defends at 1, so that skeleton's gone. Next skeleton moves into place. This is going to be a fast one. Does his 2 hits. Gets 1 hit. Dwarf defends. Defends fine. Dwarf tries to hit. Gets 1 hit. Skeleton gets to defend with 2 die. Doesn't make it, so that skeleton is gone. Next skeleton moves in. 2 hits on the dwarf. Dwarf defends and gets 1 defense, so the dwarf takes a hit point of damage. Okay, dwarf goes. That gets a hit. Skeleton defends at 2 and defends. Okay, skeleton tries to go. Gets a hit. Dwarf tries to defend. Gets some defends. Dwarf goes. Gets... Oh, well, that'll easily take care of that skeleton. And again, the dwarf draws a card and gets a wandering monster. Let's see what the wandering monster is for this one. The wandering monster is a mummy. Okay, so we will go back and let's get rid of those arrows. The mummy pops out of the ground. Let's see, monsters. Mummy. And so the mummy just... I guess he was lurking in this corner somewhere. Discard card. And I don't know whether you just... If you get a wandering monster card for a wander... I guess you just keep drawing, so... Okay, mummy gets to go. Mummy has 3 attack die. And gets a hit. The dwarf gets to defend and does not, so the dwarf takes a hit. Okay, dwarf gets to go. Gets 2 hits. The mummy gets to defend, and mummy has 4 defense die and does not, so the mummy takes a hit. Okay, and this time I think we're going to let the wizard Oregano's going to poke there with his staff. We really forgot about that, so hey, it doesn't hurt. And the mummy defends. Okay, mummy gets to go again. Attack die of 3. 2 of the hits. Oops. Dwarf defends with 2. Okay. Dwarf goes with 4. 3 hits. And the mummy defends with 4. So yeah, the mummy gets nothing to the defense, and so the mummy's eliminated. We draw another one. Heroic Brew. That lets you make 2 attacks. And I think that the dwarf's going to give that to his old friend Lulabelle the elf. She's not carrying much. So let me write that down. Okay, let's discard that card. And the card, they do their thing. Moves in, checks for traps. Lulabelle moves in, checks for secret doors. And then everybody else moves in. Nothing there. Okay. We go down here. This is kind of repetitive. Same thing. Skeletons attack. And let's get our people where they would be when waiting for the attack. Skeleton attacks first with 2 attack die and gets nothing. So swoosh goes by his head and the dwarf ducks. Okay, dwarf then pulls his axe out, yar, and gets 1 hit against a skeleton. Skeleton defends at 2. Skeleton doesn't make it, and since the skeleton has a single hit point, he's gone. Next skeleton moves into position. The monsters just move in little lines and gets a point of damage. Dwarf tries to defend, does not make it, so the dwarf takes another point. He's at 4. And dwarf will try to go, gets a hit, Skeleton tries to defend. Doesn't make it, and so they're gone. We draw a card, and it's a gem worth 35 gold pieces. Write it down. Okay, we'll send that. Now that doesn't, you don't return that to the deck. I guess that wandering monster should have been returned to the deck. Okay. They do the drill. Move to the next. And they find it empty. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the dwarf will go here, right on the boot. There's a big boot there. I don't know whose it is. So the dwarf looks in, sees nothing in there, sees a treasure, and I'm going to say checks for traps. And in doing so, the dwarf will roll. If they get a skull, they will fall into this pit. Does not. So the dwarf, then they're going to try to jump it. Again, they got to try once with the skull. Falls in. Okay, falls in, and let's see what's in there in the bottom. A wandering monster. Okay, so there's a mummy and the dwarf are now in there together. Fighting it out. Mummy will go first. Spellcaster's up above here. And we'll say these guys are both in the pit. Mummy attacks with 3. Mummy goes with 1 hit, and the dwarf defends with 3. Does not defend, so takes a BP. Okay, and then I'm going to say the dwarf goes with 4. Mummy defends with 4. Yeah. Mummy defends for 2, but mummies have 1 hit point, so actually the mummies have 2 body points, but that's enough to eliminate the mummy. And we draw for treasure again, and we get some gold, 15 gold coins. Now, I don't remember if I took a point off for the dwarf falling in. Oh, they're down to nothing. Okay. The dwarf is going to, we're going to have to do a little bit of spell casting here. So let's see, player inventory. Let's go with our wizard, and uses Body of Healing. Brings the dwarf back up to 5. And we can discard that. Okay, dwarf comes in here. And let's see if we can get everybody in. So we'll roll for oregano. Oh, oregano falls in. Drags himself out. Chuck Norris falls in. Everybody's just falling right into the trap. Okay, but drags himself out, and Lulabelle makes it. Okay. Dwarf goes over here. He knows there's a second trap over here, and we will roll to see if he can... Falls in. Okay, dwarf falls in again. There we go, and we roll to see what's in the bottom. Another wandering monster. Okay, another mummy. These guys are surrounding it. We need to change this to 2. Okay, mummy gets to go. Attack dice at 3. Oh, 3 hits. And 2 of them land. So, okay. Chuck will try, or the dwarf will go. Lead belly hits with 2. The mummy defends with 4. So the mummy takes a point of damage. Okay. Now, at the same time, I'm going to say that let's see, I'm going to go by my inventory, and our wizard, another Water of Healing. And Chuck will now be at 6. And let's see, who went last? Okay, so now it's the mummy's turn. Mummy attacks with 1 point. Chuck, or the oregano defends with nothing. So, Lead Belly, I'm sorry, Lead Belly takes another point to get him at 5. Let's see, who's next? Okay, the mummy went. Lead Belly gets to go. Rolls a 4, hits with 3, and the mummy has defense of 4. So yeah, that eliminates the mummy. And we draw another card. Oh, another gem worth 35. We're rich, I tells you. Let's see, we discard that. Okay. Now, we're going to say that the gonad's going to go up to the chest. Actually, the dwarf checks. There's no trap on the chest. I don't think, is there a trap on the chest? Let's see. It does have a poison needle trap. And so the dwarf's going to definitely check it out. Let's see. Rolls. If he gets a skull, the trap goes off and does 2 points of damage. Ah, he does. He takes 2 more. He is eating up the points. 3. Okay. And they open up the chest, and inside a flask filled with an unidentifiable purple liquid. And I'm going to say that Norris isn't too bright, so he grabs it, drinks it, turns to stone. And at the same time, the Waters of Healing. Let's see, where are we at with the dwarf? I got to see how much he has. He's got a body of 7, and he's at 3, so yeah, he could use it. So the Water of Healing will take him back up to 7 body points. Okay, and so they wait around. This guy's at stone. They look around the room. Eventually he turns back into a flesh and blood person. Now the problem is we're at kind of a cul-de-sac here, so we got to get out of it. I think Chuck will take the... Let's let Chuck take the lead for a while. And they got to get around that. They got to jump that pit. Chuck makes it. Oregano makes it. The dwarf falls in, of course. Let's see. That's a point of damage. And then finally Lulabelle goes. She makes it. Okay, so everybody's out. And they begin their traipsing back through the dungeon the way they came. And they get to here. And these are Chaos Warriors. There's 4 Chaos Warriors here. So when they move into place, Chuck goes first, and them, and them, and them, and the barbarians, or the Chaos Warriors, move in. Now these Chaos Warriors are turned to stone. I don't know whether they stand there or not. Let's see what they say here. They can get an extra defense die. Okay, they're going to be tough. Okay, so they move into attack. Now, Chaos Warriors, we haven't seen those yet. Chaos Warriors have an attack of 4, and these guys are going to defend at 5. So, Chaos Warrior 1 goes against Chuck. Gets 1 hit. Chuck tries to defend. Let's see. Chuck has normal 2, 3, 4. Because I think, let's see, we've got the helmet for 1 and the shield for 1. And then Chuck has a normal defense of 2, so 4. Oh, that's easy. Okay, the other one gets to go with an attack of 4. Gets a hit. Chuck defends at 4. Makes it. Okay. Chuck's going to go against this guy, and then I think my wizard is going to cast a spell on this guy. Because these guys are tough. So Chuck goes with 3 points. Gets a hit. The Chaos Warrior defends with 1, so makes it. And then the wizard is going to use a ball of flame. Now that does 2 points, and any 5 or 6 reduces it. So we roll 2 of these, and so it does 1 point because we got a 6 there. Okay. Chaos Warrior goes with 4. Gets 2 hits. Chuck defends at this, makes it. Another Chaos Warrior goes at 4, 2 hits. Chuck defends. Okay. Chuck goes with 3. Actually, I think he's got a potion. Let's see what we can do before we do. We'll re-roll that. Let's see, a potion of strength. It's 2 extra combined die. Okay. He's going to quaff the potion of strength. And in doing so, he gets 5 die. So 2 hits on a Chaos Warrior. Chaos Warrior has a defense of 5. He makes it. Okay. Ball of Flame again. We'll go Ball of Flame against this guy. You roll 2. So Ball of Flame for 1 point. And that's the end of the turn. Okay. Back to the Chaos Warriors. Attack at 4. Ooh, 3 hits against Chuck. Chuck defends at 4. Makes 2, so Chuck takes a point. That's a 6. Okay. The other one goes 4. Nothing. Okay. Chuck gets to go. Back to 3. He goes against this guy. And actually, we're going to go against this guy, and then this guy's going to throw the spell. So, makes 2 hits. Chaos Warrior rolls 5 die. So, yeah, that's enough. He did defend for 1, but there was 2 hits. So, Chaos Warrior's out. This guy rolls another. He's going to use another Ball of Flame. And we roll 2 die. Okay, and that's 2 down. So that takes this Chaos Warrior to 1. Chaos Warrior goes against Chuck. 3 hits. Chuck defends with 3. Gets 1. So 2 hits on Chuck. Takes him to 4. And that's the end of the Chaos Warrior. Chuck's going to go. And then he's going to use his little stick. So Chuck uses his 3. Nothing. The little stick goes. Nothing. Okay. Chaos Warrior goes with 2 hits. Chuck defends. Makes it. Chuck goes with 3. Ooh, 3 hits. Chaos Warrior defends at 5. Okay, 1 saves for 1 of them, but the other 2 get him. So that's it. Now, we see what treasure we got. Oh, another wandering monster. Which is another mummy. Where's our mummies? Where's our mummy? We had a mummy over here. Here he is. So he comes waddling. We're going to see he waddles up behind him, just for something different. Let the elf take a few points. Okay. Goes against the elf. I don't think the elf's been involved in a combat since we started this thing. Okay. Let's see. Mummy goes. Mummy has an attack 3. 2 hits on Lulabelle. And Lulabelle has a defense of 2. So Lulabelle takes 2 hits. Okay. Now Lulabelle gets to try to go. She has a Attack of 2. And does it. She makes the 2 hits. The mummy has a defense of 4. Nothing. So she gets the mummy and does him in. Draws a card. Finds nothing. Okay. We can return that to the treasure deck. Let's see. 4, 3, 6, 4. I think everybody's still above half. So we're going to stay put. And we'll just go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have another Chaos Warrior on our hands. And these guys can move at 7, so he easily moves down. Attacks with 4 die. Nothing. Okay. Chuck attacks back. 1 hit. Saves. Okay. Chaos Warrior goes 5. Hits with 1. Chuck defends with 4. Does not make it, so Chuck takes another hit. Okay, and then Chuck gets to go. Nothing, okay. And I'm going to say that Last Water of Healing is cast and discarded, so Chuck's back to 7. Okay. Let's see. Chuck gets to go. 3 hits. Chaos Warrior defends. Takes 1 point. Because there's 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay. Chaos Warrior goes with 4. 2 hits. Chuck defends with 4. Makes it 1 hit. Whoops. Okay, Chuck gets to go. Makes a hit. Chaos Warrior defends, easily defends. And we're going to say they throw another... I'm going to say he can throw that spell. We're going to let the wizard throw his spell. Ball of Flame. And so the Chaos Warrior is going to go to... And that does him in because he didn't get a 5 or 6. So that's enough to kill him off. And Chuck draws a card, Potion of Defense. And it gives you an extra 2 combat die. Okie doke. There we go. I'll discard that. And the party goes. How about it? Everybody okay? I think we're going to pass the Potion of Defense to Chuck. Or not defense, healing. That's what I meant. Healing, because he's going to run point. The person on point should always have a healing potion. And sure enough, they're going to need it because when they get to year, this guy comes up. Okay. Now, let's see. So the Chaos Warrior goes first with 4 attack die. Does 2, and Chuck defends at 4, and defends. Okay. I think we're going to do is these guys are going to try to move around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to move him here, and then first of all, we'll try to poke him with the stick. Oh, that poke is successful. That did it. He has no dark shields, so, or walruses. Now Chuck's going to go with his 3 points. Chuck needs a battle axe or something. Gets 2. That's enough. Okay. So that guy falls. We draw a wandering monster, another mummy. I'm going to say the mummy comes out of here. And attacks the dwarf. Okay, mummy has an attack of 3. 2 hits. Dwarf has a defense of 3. Nothing. Okay, so dwarf takes 2. Let's see here. Dwarf is going to go. Actually, the elf is going to throw a spell. Let's see what we got. Going to throw deep sleep on the mummy, and it doesn't say that you can't use these undead. So essentially, what this is going to cause the mummy to do. Oh, it has to be 1 to 3. Okay, that doesn't work. Elf. Okay, how about we'll hang on to everything. Okay. The dwarf goes. Now, does he have anything special he can use? The dwarf has a potion of defense, 2 extra defense die. Okay. I might use it next turn. First of all, the dwarf's going to go with 4. That's 2 on the mummy. The mummy has... Move that over. 4 defense. Nothing. Okay, well, that makes a moot point because the mummy's gone. And we draw a card. And we find 25 gold. Oh, tough encounters. So now we realize we can go back. Everybody's going to move over here. We'll move here, 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 and here. Now, do we go this way? Oh, we can't go this way. There's nothing around. We could say we did, but okay. Let's see. I think we'll move the dwarf. He's at 4. He's at 6. We're going to move this guy here. We'll stay in this one more time. And peeks in, sees a skeleton. So skeleton, we'll wait for the skeleton. We'll do the standard drill. Skeletons should be pretty easy by this time. Let's see. Skeletons have a attack of 2. 2, they do hit. Okay. Defense of 4. Which defends. Okay. Attack of 3, which was 1. And the skeleton has a defense of 2. Does not make it. So that's it for the skeleton. We roll for a wandering monster. Or, no. I mean, I'm getting used to drawing this. Oh my gosh. Not sure what's up with the deck and the wandering monsters. Another mummy. We'll say he comes up here. I just want to keep it. I do like to keep my party alive. Well, actually, it really should be here. So, okay. Mummy, I was trying to cheat there. Attack die 3. Gets a hit and a defense of 4. Defends. Okay. For Chuck gets a 1. Defense. The mummy's defense is 4. Makes it. Okay. Mummy goes with 3. 2 hits. Chuck defends with 4. Gets 1. So Chuck takes another hit. Okay. Chuck goes with 3. Gets 1. Mummy defends. Defends, okay. Mummy attacks with 3. Chuck defends with 4. Nothing. So 3 points. Oh, I forgot this guy here. He could poke his stick. Pokes his stick. Nothing. Okay. Chuck attacks with 3. 2 of them a hit. Mummy defends at 4. Makes it. Okay. Let's see. Chuck goes. The Mummy goes. 3 die. 1 hit. Chuck defends at 4. Makes it. Little pokey guy. Oregano goes. Nothing. Chuck goes with 3. 1 hit. And the Mummy defends at 4. Doesn't do it. Okay, so there's a change to BP to 1. Okay, Mummy goes 3. Nothing. Chuck goes 3. 2 hits. Mummy defends 1, so that's enough. Okay, Mummy's gone. Return to treasure check. Draw. And we find nothing. Okay. We'll move in. The dwarf will push his way forward. And we do the drill. I don't think there's anything in this room. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Does anybody have any healing? Okay. Dwarf's going to go. Peeks in, and there's a gargoyle. Nasty. Okay, gargoyle attacks the dwarf with 4 die. 1 hit. There's 3 points. The dwarf defends at 3. And that 1 hit is neutralized. Dwarf gets to go with 4. Gets 2 hits. Gargoyle defends at 5. And 1 hit goes through. Okay. Does the wizard have anything left up his sleeve? Has a tempest. So basically, he casts that, and the this guy loses his turn. So we'll discard that card. Okay. So basically, dwarf will go attack twice, and this guy can attack. He cast it, so he can attack once. This guy can do it once. So, okay, miss turn, once. And then he can do it again. Okay, so dwarf gets to go twice. There's 2 hits. So 1 hit hits. Actually, it doesn't matter because this guy is gone. And we roll for a treasure. We find some jewels. 50 gold pieces of jewels. At least the treasure's been good on this one. Okay. They go from next to the next dark, damp room. And they decide they want to go here or here. So odd, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So over here. And there is a zombie. And we know who the zombie is. It's Wardaz, or whatever his name is. Yeah, Wardaz. So treasure chest with 144 gold pieces, and the zombie in room is dressed in wizard's robes. It is Wardaz. After destroying Wardaz, the first hero who searches the treasure will find the coins. Also some papers on Wardaz's bench, and these papers prove that Wardaz was consumed by the chaos magic he was experimenting with and turned into a mindless zombie. So basically, they got to beat Wardaz. Shouldn't be too hard. Zombie gets to go first. And zombies fight with 2 attack die. Nothing. Okay, 4 attack die back. 3 points. A zombie defends at 3. And that's enough to get rid of Wardaws. We draw, and they find a hazard. So an arrow shoots out of the chest or something in the room, and dwarf takes 1. Dwarf moves in, checks for traps, finds the 144 gold pieces. Nice. And everybody is happy. Okay, they got one more room to go through. Dwarf is here. And here. And they open this door, and a mummy attacks them. And 2 skeletons. Okay, the mummy goes first. Has an attack of 3. And gets 1 on the dwarf. The dwarf has a defense of 3. Defends, okay. Dwarf attacks at 4. Gets 2 hits. Mummy defends at 4. So mummy takes 1 hit. And then Mr. Pokey pokes. It can't hurt. Okay, mummy gets to go with 3. 2 of them are hits. And so that's 1 hit the dwarf takes. Things are looking kind of... We're down to the line on the dwarf. Okay. I think what we'll do is we will cast the spell. Elephant. So if we flashback, okay, let's see. We're going to say that that spell is cast. That's a weird, because how do you move backwards in time with this? Okay, we'll just say the dwarf tries to attack. He attacks for 3. Mummy defends at 4. Guess we won't cast that. 4. So that's 2 points. It sends the mummy. The mummy is gone. Okay, and then the skeleton attacks. The dwarf, attack at 2, 1 hit. Dwarf defends at 3 and defends. Dwarf goes a 4, gets 2. Skeleton defends at 2, gets a 1. So that's it for the skeleton. Next skeleton attacks. 2 points. Makes a point. Dwarf defends. Does not defend. That's going to be terrible if the dwarf doesn't make it. Mr. Pokeyman does 1 point. Skeleton has to defend. Defends, okay. And then the dwarf goes. Oh yeah, that's enough easily. So skeleton's gone. We go to the treasure. See if there's any more treasure here. Nothing. Okay, we can deal with that. After all those wandering monsters, it feels pretty good to come up with the nothing. So they move in, look for traps. And they find the, let's see, this is a weapons room. The first hero who searches for treasure in this room will find the magical artifact, Borin's Armor. So Borin's Armor, let's see what Borin's Armor is. We go to our game cards and artifacts. Borin's Armor. This magical suit of plate mail allows the wearer to roll 4 combat dice in defense. Unlike normal plate mail, this mysterious ultralight metal does not slow down its wearer, although it may not be used by wizards. Okay. Now, I don't think you can use plate mail with... The one thing we've got is, can you use plate mail with... let's see. It can be combined with the helmet and shield. Okay. So who's going to have it? I think we are going to leave that in the capable hand of our dwarf friend. So Leadbelly Onion Breath is getting a nice new Borin's Armor. Let's pull him up here. Borin's Armor. And that is it for the dungeon. They have cleaned it out. So the party can move back and they can go back home and they get another 100 gold pieces. Fairly tough dungeon there. They were down to the dregs on points. So we'll do a little shopping next time, but we will be back in just a few.